What's up, YouTube? Blaze here, and I'm back with another reaction video. For today's video, I'm going to be reacting to the latest video on the latest scam uncovered by Pleasant Green. As for what it is, it's going to be interesting. But anyways, let's get ready. If you guys are ready, I know I am. Let's go!
Well, I recently got an email from a guy named John Harrison. He said, "Hello, we are reaching out with an exciting opportunity to join our company as a part-time payroll assistant / dispatcher. With my expanding role as a payroll manager handling payroll and auditing for multiple companies, I am looking for a dedicated individual to assist remotely. This role offers a competitive monthly salary of $3,500 plus bonuses with a flexible schedule that will not conflict with your current job." Now, this email said nothing about who John Harrison was or what the name of his company was, but if he's offering $3,500 a month and it won't conflict with my other work, why would I even hesitate? All I need is a computer, printer, some office paper, and a weekly commitment of up to 5 to 6 hours over 3 days. So of course I responded and I said, "Hello, are you still hiring for this position?" He said, "Yes, provide the requested information to get started." And this email came to my Vtuber email account, a burner account that I use for scam baiting. So I just decided to go with it, and I come up with some more random information for John. He says, "Okay, we will need a check paper. It costs about $40. Can you afford it? And we'll reimburse you later." He tells me the exact type of paper which I can find on Amazon for about $40, and I say, "Okay, what am I doing with these?" He said, "We can't print on ordinary paper. We need check paper. That is what we're doing with it." And here is an entire ream of check paper, courtesy of Amazon Prime. By now it's clear that I'm going to be getting paid to print out checks for the employees in John's company. The next day he sends an email that says, "Hello, I attached 25 checks, labels, and letter. You'll be printing 25 pieces of letter and including each with the package." So I take a look at the 3 attachments that he sent me. The first is the employee checks, each of them written out for $2,900. The second is the prepaid USPS labels made out to employees all over the country. And the third is a letter. Let's read it together and see what kind of work his employees are doing. It says, "Dear candidate, thank you for applying to the Ruffles Snacks Auto Wrap Advertising Program." Wait a minute, I'm working for the Ruffles Snacks Company? The letter says you will receive $2,900 via USPS. Deduct $800 from this amount as your first week's wage. Deposit the check into your bank and confirm when the funds will be available for withdrawal. Submit your deposit confirmation within 24 hours to receive a $200 Amazon gift card with your second paycheck. And that's when I knew exactly what was going on. I am not being hired to send out paychecks to John's employees. I am being hired to scam them. You see, this John guy has probably contacted these 25 people across the country with the same story. He tells them that he'll pay them to advertise Ruffles by wrapping their car with the brand's logo. He says he's gonna send them a check for $2,900 and they're supposed to deposit it, keep $800 as their payment, and then send the remaining $2,100 to someone who will supposedly come and wrap their car. But if John is really paying for the wrap, then why wouldn't he just pay the installer directly? Because there is no installer. The person that they're sending the money to is part of the scam. The original check will eventually be identified as fraudulent and will bounce. And when that happens, the bank removes the $2,900 from the victim's account, but the $2,100 they already sent to the scammer is gone. So the victim ends up owing the bank the money that they sent, even though they thought the check had cleared. And apparently, I'm going to end up being complicit in all of this. So there's no way that I'm going to send these checks to anyone. But I actually did this once upon a time. I was recruited to do this very thing, but instead of sending checks to people, I sent warning letters instead. And when I dropped the letters off at the post office, I got a text within minutes from the post office employees saying, "You are on camera using fraudulent postage. It is being reported to the US Postal Inspectors." Now this freaked me out, and I turned right around and I went back and I explained the whole thing to them, and they were totally cool about it. But that day I learned that scammers were not spending their own money on these postage labels. Instead, they were using stolen shipping accounts from legitimate businesses. And that's probably what's going on here, because the labels are coming from a random accounting firm, not Ruffles. So I thought I would call up this firm and see if they had any idea that they were involved in the marketing of potato chips.
Yeah, it's coming from your address, and it's
Yeah, so definitely a good chance that somehow some information got stolen. Probably during a data breach. Especially if this is gonna end up being a sponsored segment like I usually think it is. Unfortunately, when it comes to data breaches like this, it happens all the time. And it's not just people's personal information, it can also be information regarding to businesses. As in, suspicious bad actors could easily purchase the data if it's been illegally collected. Or someone has the technical know-how to get the information from the data breach itself, store the information somewhere, and use it later.
It's also using, I think it also might be using your USPS postage account. So,
Oh, that's really concerning, yes. If we
yeah.
could get a copy of that, that would be,
Yeah.
very helpful. I could let our corporate office know.
Yeah, I could email it to you right now if you want.
Yeah, so there's no way I can get involved in this again. But I need to earn John's trust and stay undercover so I can learn as much as I can. So when John says to print one check first and send a picture to make sure it's printed correctly, I do what I'm told. And when it comes out of the printer, it looks like an official check. John says, okay, you should detach the check stubs and mail out only the main checks. Drop them off at the post office drop-off box. So I place his letter in a FedEx envelope along with the check and the prepaid label, and then I throw it in the trash. But I make sure to take a picture before I do, and I send it to him so he thinks I'm on board. But since he has the tracking numbers, he's going to know if I don't drop them off. So it's only a matter of time before he follows up. See, I told you. Yes, I did. Same thing tomorrow? Okay, around what time did you drop them off? Around 4 p.m. Do you have some more for me to do today? No, we will tomorrow. I think he might be suspicious, but let's just hope that he assumes that they haven't been scanned in yet, because I want to keep this going for as long as I can. But now I have some time to look at all the employees that I'm supposed to send these checks to. Who are they and how did they get mixed up in all of this? So I spent a couple of minutes on binverified.com and I can already see their relatives, their phone numbers, and links to their social media. It's crazy how much information about all of us is just sitting out there, and it's exactly what scammers are counting on. And that's why everyone watching this should be trying to get their personal information off of sites like this by contacting them. But there's a much easier way than doing it yourself, and that's why I've partnered with
I'll have to look into why someone made a video on not rusting Incogni. If anybody knows why, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave it to my own devices and do the research myself.
Incogni. Incogni automatically contacts data brokers on your behalf, and it requests that they remove your personal information. Instead of spending hours tracking down dozens or even hundreds of these companies yourself, Incogni handles the requests and continues following up as new databases pop up. No service.
Yeah, because last when I checked my official name, not saying what it is for obvious reasons, I found out that at least over 200 plus brokers have my information. So in a way, I'm thankful that I got this.
Can erase your information from the internet entirely, but reducing what's publicly available makes it much harder for scammers to build a convincing, personalized attack like the one in this video. If there is a particular site with your info that you're having a hard time getting yourself off of, use Incogni's custom removal tool and it'll get right to work. If you want to check it out, go to incogni.com/pleasantgreen and get 60% off of one of their plans. It helps support the channel, and you'll also be taking a real step toward making yourself a much harder target for scammers. The link is in the description below. And now let's get back to John. So the next morning, John writes me and he says, "Good morning. I sent 38 checks and labels, 38 pieces of letter to be printed. Please send a printed copy." I guess he still trusts me. Once again, I make him think that I'm following his orders. He says, "Which post office did you drop the packages last time?" Uh-oh, he's noticed that yesterday's checks never got put into the system. So I tell him it was the one on Pacific Avenue. He says, "Okay, you should drop today packages at a new post office location." He follows up again, and I say, yes, I dropped them off. Alright, which post office did you drop them? I figure I'll be very specific and give him the exact website of the post office that I went to. But hidden in this URL is a tracking link that I created at grabify.link. And if he clicks on it, it will give me his IP address, and it will tell me where in the world he is.
Of course, it's another Nigerian scam. Unfortunately, there's a reason why it's not uncommon to see a lot of scams like these coming out of Nigeria, mainly because as culturally Nigerians pretty much got all the expensive stuff you would see from someone who's won the lottery or been involved in shady business, and not that many people want to engage in hard work, and they hope to do stuff like this as a means to show off their wealth. Wealth that they hope to attain someday by scamming pretty much anybody here over in America.
Alright then. The next day he sends me even more checks. He says, "Good morning, I sent 22 checks for tomorrow. You must drop them at a new post office at 2730 Washington Boulevard. Do not drop them off at Pacific Avenue. Please send a picture of the printed check when you print them tomorrow. It's important. Thank you." So I managed to convince John that I've now sent out 3 batches of letters and checks.
Maybe the reason why the scammer wanted to do a different post office, it's because it's to prevent raising suspicion.
But the truth is, they're all just sitting in my trash can. I've also been able to warn 3 businesses who may be losing money to this scammer who's taken access of their shipping or stamps.com accounts. But since not a single package has been received by the post office, John must be assuming the worst. That's when he decides to do the next best thing, and he says, "Can you please get a $100 Apple gift card at any grocery store or Walmart near you, and you will be getting $1,700 total. It's kind of urgent, and I am not near any outlet. Please, if you can, scratch the back of the card gently and send the picture, thank you." I'm like, "What's the gift card for?" "I just needed it urgently. You will be getting the $100 back. Do you prefer postal money orders for the $1,700, or what method of payment do you prefer? Please scratch the back of the Apple gift card gently and send the picture when you have it." Well, this is just pathetic. He can't find anyone to mail his check, so he's hoping that he can get at least $100 from his assistant. I say, "I don't get it. Why am I getting you an Apple gift card? You are supposed to be paying me." "Yes, I told you I will be sending you $1,700. $1,500 for 2 weeks' pay, $100 for the check paper and ink, and $100 for the card." I say, "Well, I spent all my money on check paper. Send me my paycheck and I'll buy you a gift card." But he doesn't write back after that. So the next day I write him and I say, "Good morning, sir. I am ready to work." No response. The next day I say, "Hello, boss. Just wondering if you have any work for me." Nothing. And that's when I realize I may have been fired. But things were just starting to get interesting, so I asked myself, how can I keep this story going and waste more of his time? He's probably sent out hundreds of letters and checks through other people at this point. What if I could pretend to be one of them? So I followed John's instructions on the letter, and I write to John using another one of my email addresses belonging to a woman named Eileen Dover. I say, "Hello, I
Very
received
proud of
the check
himself.
today." He responds and he says, "Great, you should go deposit the check at your bank ATM or across the counter, and please send the picture of the deposit slip when it's done." He really believes that I'm one of his many check recipients. So to make him think that I actually deposited the check, I used AI to create an image of a bank receipt. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that because I don't want y'all lighting up my comments for using AI. So I painstakingly photoshopped a receipt to look like I deposited $2,900 into my bank account. No AI used whatsoever. And it's good enough because John actually falls for it. He gives me instructions to send a money order to a girl named Aubrey living in Louisiana. Most likely another American that is unknowingly being used as a pawn in these Nigerian scammers' operation to steal from Americans. I ask, "Is Aubrey the girl who's going to wrap my car?" "Yes, do you understand the instructions?" I do, but I decide to flip the script on him and I say, "Your other letter told me to send it to Ben." Confused, he says, "No, you should send it to Aubrey." "Well, then why did you send me this then?" And I attach a picture of this letter, which I printed off minutes earlier to trick John into believing that it came in the mail with the check, and that his former employee Ben Dover was betraying him and diverting payouts to himself. John says the letter was a mistake. You should ignore it. But then I attach another letter that I claimed to also receive, saying, Dear recipient, this second letter is to confirm that you should send the money to Bend Over. My email has been hacked by scammers in Nigeria. Don't trust them. Kindly, John Harrison. No, do not send the money to him. We are not in business with him anymore. But he told me to block you and cease communication with you. If you send any money to Ben, we will report you and sue you. And I'm sure that this is making John mad, but to make him even more mad, I create a fake Cash App notification that says I've just been paid by Eileen Dover. And then I send it to John saying, LOL, she just paid me instead of you. And now he's finally ready to talk. I knew you were not dropping those packages off. Who sent you Eileen's address? I said, that's what you get for not paying me. And to mess with him even more, I send another email from another account that I own for a guy named Mike Raffone. I tell him that I've received my check, and once again, he goes right along with it. How many letters does this guy send out that he doesn't even question when he gets a response? He tells me to do the same thing and deposit the check, but this time he wants me to buy gift cards. I wonder if I've
I'm betting if anything, he probably just has AI generate those letters and have them send out to any random email address that he picks out. I'm not questioning who the email addresses belong to. Which is so dumb.
spooked Aubrey, his money mule. But before I can deposit the check, I send him a picture of a letter that I supposedly got in the mail that says, John Harrison is a scammer living in Nigeria. This is his IP address. Don't listen to anything he says. And later he emails Mike saying, what is going on? You have our money. I'll be reporting you to the police, and our attorney will be contacting you. I just love that he hasn't figured it out yet, and that he truly believes that his former payroll assistant is now rerouting thousands of dollars to himself. I guess that's what happens when you don't treat your employees very well. Let that be a lesson to all of us. Also, don't take jobs from strangers who want you to mail suspicious checks or receive suspicious payments from strangers. These are the types of jobs that will land you in jail for money laundering and assisting scammers overseas. You can find a better job. You're just going to have to work harder for it. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next video.
Well, that does it for this video. Oh, did you guys enjoy that? Because I know I did. A lot of these scammers are not only scummy, but they're also pretty fairly stupid. But anyways, that's it for me. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, drop a comment down below. Also, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get notified on when I post new videos or when I go live. You can catch me on social media and leave all my links along with the original video in the description below. Until next time, see you guys later.